my podcast, Trade Secrets. I got a really cool person with us here today. A lot of people I talk to are older. Not that I'm ageist or against older people, because I am one. But I don't get to talk to too many young artists or young songwriters or young creators. And today I have Max Poscente. Am I saying your name right?
Yeah, Poscente. But, you know.
Poscente?
Yeah.
Poscente?
Yeah, whatever.
It's Italian.
Yeah, it's Italian.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. All you got to do is this with the name, and it's fine.
I love Max. He's talented. He's easy on the eyes, ladies. He's good on camera.
Wow.
We're going to talk about what you're doing now, but I start at the very, I like your boots, by the way.
Thanks.
I start at the very beginning, and that is, it's unscripted, but I ask the same question. You've probably heard a couple of these. Where were you born?
Well, first of all, that was the nicest intro I've ever gotten, ever. Usually people are like, oh, God, here he comes.
No, that's not true.
No, but that's super kind. Thanks, Candace. I'm from Dallas. Grew up in Dallas, Texas, in the same home Steve Miller grew up in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so music was kind of like always there. I think kind of built into the walls of
yeah, well,
the home.
that's one of my next questions was like, what did your mom and dad do?
Yeah. So my mom she's a serial entrepreneur. She represented speakers for a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, started a few companies. And then my dad went to the Olympics in 1982 for downhill speed skiing.
How fun.
Yeah, and then he became an author and public speaker talking about his Olympic journey.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I'd say they fostered a very entrepreneurial
right.
upbringing.
Oh, I appreciate it. Siblings?
Yeah, 2 younger sisters.
Oh, 2 younger.
Yeah.
You're the oldest. You're the big
I'm
brother.
oldest. You're the baby.
Yeah, I'm the baby with
Yeah.
3 older brothers, but you're the big brother?
Yeah, you kind of give oldest and a lot of...
Well, it's alpha.
Yeah.
Alpha female.
Such
I
an
don't know.
alpha.
I think it's default setting.
Yeah,
the alpha
you
setting.
can't help it.
I don't know. I think I was precocious when I was a little kid, and you're precocious as well in a positive way. Being precocious is a good thing, which means you're not afraid to get out there.
Yeah.
You're a natural showman.
Yeah.
You know, you're probably campy as a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
having fun.
Wow, way to just nail it.
Well, it takes one to know one.
Yeah.
But so they were supportive, and we loved that.
Yeah.
When was did you have like music in school?
Yeah, well,
Were you like a band nerd?
I was a huge band nerd. I mean, okay, so I growing up in this house was crazy because I'd hear these stories about so Steve Miller's dad was really great friends with Les Paul, and at the dawn of the
remind me to tell you about
recording.
when we get off camera about the Les Paul studio that's next door. I'm throwing a huge party for them. By the way, I'll just say that on camera right now. The Les Paul Foundation has opened a room in United, Studio D, where they've installed Les's original console and his tape machine, and I am helping co-host the party that they're having.
That's crazy.
So you'll have to see it. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's bookable.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about that, but we do love Les Paul.
But we do love Les Paul, and we do love that studio.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
No, but so he was super tight with Steve's dad, and so much so he threw his bachelor party, or no, he had his honeymoon, his wedding honeymoon in the back house.
Oh, nice.
So there's like front house and the back house.
Oh, fun.
And the back house, home to Les Paul's honeymoon, was also where Les recorded like...
So there was a studio in there.
He just had this makeshift studio. Les had this makeshift studio back there where like Muddy Waters recorded Boss Skaggs.
See, this is super crazy that I've known you this long and never knew that, because when I show you this, you're going to be like,
wow,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So now you were, Les didn't die that long ago, but you would have been a little kid.
No, yeah, he died I think in 2012. Yeah, something like that.
But Steve Miller's. So you grew up in the house that belonged to Steve Miller's family.
Yes, and his dad's ashes were spread around the perimeter of the property, and there's 3 wells on the. It's an acre lot, and
we both grew up on big lots. I grew up on a big piece of land in South Carolina.
It's just the South, you know.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like, I don't know about the South, which made it really cheap, and now people are like,
everybody's going there. Yeah.
And now it's expensive. But
great place to have a childhood.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was the best.
You could run around, you go out and play, and come home at dark.
Literally, I could just sneak out when I was like 11 or whatever, and go like ride bikes around I lived near this lake.
Fun.
It was great, and my mom was keenly aware of it every time I was sneaking out, and she's like, was somebody who would sneak out herself. So she's like, okay, he needs to have his,
Yeah, you need to be, we were talking about this a minute ago, like kids don't get a chance to, I mean, I realize urban environments, it's not safe necessarily, but growing up in a somewhat. I grew up on a river. You grew up by a lake.
Yeah.
Being able to go out and just be a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
catch tadpoles,
Yes.
crawl through drain pipes, or
Yes.
get muddy, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, it's important.
Make mistakes in your small first independent moments.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Nothing drastic.
No, you don't want to make mistakes as a young adult. You know what I mean? I mean, you will, but like, you gotta. I don't know. There's like some character building there that I feel weird about like promoting. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's important for kids to be able to be, well, just about to be in nature.
Yeah.
To actually be able to be outside
Yeah.
and to get dirty.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, I mean like play in the mud.
No,
okay?
she means sexually.
yeah, I don't mean that. I mean to be, I had to say that now. But
We know what you meant, guys.
Yeah. But to have some fun and to not be monitored all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was ride my bike with my dog,
Yeah.
and my favorite thing to do was I'd get going really, really fast, and he'd be chasing me, and he'd get ahead of me, and I'd turn around, and he'd be like, "Wait a minute, where the hell did she go?"
Or did you ever get close to like hitting the dog or no?
No.
No.
This is just in my bike to
Yeah.
like fake my dog out.
Well, yeah, you just fake the dog out, and you would race the dog?
Yeah, just
Would
race
you
it.
win?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
most
I don't
of the
know.
time.
Maybe.
Well, no, not always. Not always.
I mean, you're husky
Now
now.
we're talking about pets.
I feel like the husky could outrun your
Oh,
dog
Einstein
probably.
could, yeah. My current dog could kick ass, but
Yeah.
it's about you, though. I need to get back to Max right now. So let's.
No, it's about Einstein. It's always about Einstein.
It's always about Einstein. So Einstein's my dog, by the way. He's a husky. Anyway, you in this environment, growing up in the place where Steve Miller and Steve Miller's dad and where
Yeah.
Les Paul had created, it just must have been like an aura.
Yeah, exactly.
It had like a vibe.
Thank you for.
Yeah.
We come back. Yes, the aura was just soaking into me slowly, and I don't. I get like Candace said. I don't mean that in the way you're thinking. I just grew up kind of like listening to classic rock. I started writing songs and performing when I was 9, and I started performing all around Dallas. By the time I was 12, I was going on tours of Texas, and then 13 tours out to the West Coast.
Nice.
Played the Whiskey A Go-Go, which is just a pay-to-play, obviously.
Oh, fun,
But
though.
when I was like 13,
Oh, my
14, and then
God.
came back.
What was that band called?
It's called the Psychosonics.
The Psycho Son. Nice.
Psychosonics, yeah.
I don't know why I think that's funny.
It's hilarious. Because you know how like mean 13-year-olds can be.
Yeah, you're
all
nuts.
all my friends would be like, "Oh, they're like sonically psycho," and I'd be like, "Guys, shut up." But I mean, it was
Did you? So were you just were you playing guitar, singing, whole band?
Yeah, whole band. We were trying to be like a psych, like a modern psych band in a lot of ways.
I don't even know what that means.
Like, like psychedelic.
I don't know what the genre. Oh, got it.
Like kind of psych rocky.
Modern Hendrix.
Modern, yeah, a little more on like the Pink Floyd side.
Oh,
Full of
got it.
Secrets, you know what I mean? Mixed with maybe some White Stripes and Black
God,
Rebel
that
Motorcycle
sounds super
Club.
fun.
It was cool.
Yeah, that
It was
sounds
cool.
super
We had a couple bangers.
All right, there you go.
But yeah, and then I went to.
Did anyone try to give you a record deal when you were 13?
Actually, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Matthew Knowles.
Oh,
Which was crazy. He approached me because I played at one of their like luncheons in between like a Music World Entertainment, which is his label, luncheon. They had me perform on acoustic, and he made this really. I think I can say this. He made this really grandiose like announcement as the like leader. He goes, "Everybody." After I finished the song, he goes, "Everybody, we're gonna sign Max for I forget what he said, but it was like
$10 contract.
yeah, literally, it was like a 10-year or a 10-year album contract, and everybody, of course, puts their clipboard between their arm and they, you know what I mean? and I'm like literally 12 or I'm 13, and I didn't really know what that
Was
meant.
your mom around?
Oh yeah, my dad was there.
Good.
Yeah, and I didn't know what that meant. I was like, this guy, and I was really particular. I've always been particular, but I wasn't sure he was like rock and roll enough. And in my head, I was like, I don't know if he'll get it. Which I told him that. I was like, I just don't know if you like understand what I'm trying to do. And
Dude, I love that you stuck to your guns and had that much chutzpah at 13. You might have fucked yourself out of a good deal. But
I know. See, a part of me is like, wow, you go, but maybe there's a little room.
But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the things I talk about in this, and again, you're not very old, you're one of the younger people I've talked to, is kind of like, how did you end up here, and I try to start it like when you were a kid, and
Yeah.
you're talking about where you grew up and that
Yeah.
type of support and everything, and how important that type of support is from your parents.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big thing.
Totally.
I mean, all parents want their kids to be able to make a living and eat and stuff.
Yeah.
So we get why they would say go to school,
Yeah.
get a skill,
Yes.
etc. So
Yes.
did you? So we got to get back to elementary school. But you're 13. You're out here already. So now you're in high school. Still in Dallas.
Still in Dallas.
High
Went
school?
to Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. Shout out. It's one of the greatest high schools in the world.
Nice.
Edie Brickell went there.
Oh, is this like Fame? Is this like the High School of Fame?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you
Wow.
dance, music, art,
Wow,
theater.
you're that guy.
Yeah. Erica Badu went there.
I went to public high school.
It was a public school. It was-
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that, they consider that like a charter school?
It consider it like a tag. So like you audition to get in,
Okay, gotcha.
publicly funded.
Oh, nice.
Um,
But you love that school.
I loved it. God, it was incredible. I mean, I fucked off quite a bit, to be frank. But I really got to bond with the teachers. Yeah, like
Do you like musical theory? Did you get down and
yeah,
deep?
I mean, they did that, but that kind of
He just fucked off.
Yeah, it's just I just went to the stairwell to like play
Everybody
songs.
fucks off in high
Yeah, you know, I could like get high in the parking lot or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, whatever.
I was a stoner in high school.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I could say that.
Yeah.
But really, what I was concerned with was getting to know the teachers, and it was really important to me when I was young to be treated like a person. I always felt like people were trying to treat me like a kid when I was young.
Oh, yeah.
Which I developed this like yearning to grow up quickly.
Y'all, yeah, I can relate to that completely.
Yeah, so
I'm
like
the same way.
Yeah, so like I was trying to do everything young, like try drugs, experience
Same.
the world, independence, like you name it.
Yeah.
And then I think I went through high school, got into college, went to Berkeley,
Nice.
and before Berkeley, I went to the school in Seattle called Cornish for a year
Okay.
for composition.
That's familiar, actually.
It's just like a small, kind of the same as the high school I went to, but not as. I was more impressed with the high school than I was at Cornish, frankly.
But Cornish thing and what they're promoting there is learning how to.
It's music.
Music.
Yeah, it's music and art and visuals.
Do you ever think about doing anything besides music?
Yeah, I would do fashion.
I could totally see that. I could totally see that.
I would do fashion. I would maybe do.
That's sort of part of being a musician, though,
Yeah.
and building your own career is having your look and your vibe
Yeah.
and how you're perceived.
Yeah. I would also start a business. I think I would venture into the entrepreneurial space, kind of no matter what I did.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing around with this idea of starting a streaming service, maybe. But I don't know. I'm getting off on such a tangent.
I need to take it back to high school. So Cornish
Yeah.
and then Berkeley.
Yeah.
Now, have you always? I know you had a band when you were young, and you
Yeah.
did the thing at the Whiskey.
Yeah.
But I only know you more. I mean, I guess About You is a band, but isn't it just you?
It's like a Tame Impala, Bright Eyes situation where it's
Right.
like Kevin Parker, then he has his set band, or Connor Oberst, but he's got his you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of that thing. Like I write the songs, I dictate how the recordings go, I choose the creative direction, who I'm going to work with. But then when we tour, we have pretty much the same lineup every time.
Yeah, because you need a band.
Yeah, you need a band.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of naturally gone that way because like nobody's going to care about your baby like you do.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just find people I love spending time with.
And who are cool with your vision.
That's really important.
Yeah.
If you find somebody who shares the vision, yeah.
So Max actually worked. We're sitting at East West Studios in the lobby,
Yes.
not in a studio. We normally be in a studio, but Max actually worked with me here,
Mm-hmm.
here. And the reason that was because I have a dear friend named Chris Van Tassel. Shout out to Chris Van Tassel.
Shout out Chris.
Who,
Shout out Rocket Pedals.
shout out to Rocket Pedals.
Or J Rocket.
J Rocket Pedals.
Yeah, J Rocket Pedals.
And Chris called me up and said, "Hey, I got my friend's son," and he said he's a great artist. And I said, "Well, at the studio I usually hire people to be engineers." And I said, "But I'll give him a shot."
He said, "Come to the barbecue," and I was like, "Say less."
Yeah. Come to the barbecue.
I'll come to the barbecue.
It's all going to work out. And so he did work here for a while. And I don't know if you learned anything when you worked here. Maybe how to. Yeah.
How to wrap a cable and how to not look
Learned-
people in the eye.
Yeah. Well, no, you learned how
No.
learned how to be around other musicians, which you already knew.
It was the steepest learning curve a job has ever offered me.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. I've never
Wow.
learned anything more from a job than at East West.
Wow.
It's the most incredible opportunity you could possibly hope
Wow,
for
thank you for saying that.
in the music industry. And I mean that.
Oh,
Because,
wow.
you're going to be able to see who works with your favorite artist, what it looks like behind the scenes, what it looks like behind the scenes, like how you're
We were talking
propping
about
up.
that, like
Yeah.
the people, the village that it takes to
Yes.
make a record. It's
Yes.
not, it's session players. It's
Yeah.
the recording engineers. Big shout out to every recording engineer who
Oh my
actually
gosh.
cares.
Yes. Who's
Those of you who don't care, I don't want to know you.
Yeah.
But yeah, because people don't realize. I'm not against home studios or anything like that, nor would I ever be against
Sure.
artist empowerment.
Yeah.
But when you work in a place like this, you understand what the acoustic space is as an instrument, how it enhances your music,
Yeah.
how important the recording engineer is. Every day I have to stress that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, you wouldn't get on a plane without a pilot.
Yeah.
Like it's really important to have someone that knows
Yeah.
gear and understands gear, and that we're
sure.
really all just here to help you.
True,
We're really just here to help you, the artist.
Yeah, but at the same time, I want to add that sometimes these home studios could be a move just for purely because people want the feeling of the home.
Right.
But I want to add, I think there's room to say one of the qualifications for recording at East West is the feeling of recording here and the feeling of walking through these halls.
All the stuff
And-
that's been done.
Yeah, because it just same as like the house I grew up in. It's like there's so much music history
Vibe.
soaked, just baked into this property, and there's certain inspirations and
I think it makes you want to do better.
yeah, it makes you want to do better. That sets
because
the bar higher.
you're thinking, like you were talking about your high school, even like
Yeah.
Edie Brickell and stuff like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
or other great people.
Yeah.
If you're around talented people,
Right.
it makes you want to be better.
Yeah, 100%. And
You know?
I remember when I was working here, there's almost every day, people would be like, "Man, so this is the pet sounds room?" Yeah, that's the pet sounds room. And so they'd have these ideas that reflect that. Like I remember there's this day that Bacon was like on just a huge trying to recreate certain moments in Pet Sounds Kick.
Oh yeah.
I
He's
hope I
doing
can-
really well, dude.
say
I love what he's been doing with Hosier and everything that he's doing.
That Hosier record's so
Dude,
good.
I love that
I
record.
love that Hosier record.
We didn't do all of it, but we did some of it. I
Yeah.
don't think we did that. We didn't do the single Too Sweet. I wish we had.
Oh,
but
that's okay.
Andrew is Hosier himself. What a nice guy.
Yeah. He seems like a nice guy.
Sweetheart.
Never
He's
met him,
total
but-
sweetie pie. But Bacon's he's a young producer. Danny Tannenbaum is his real name, and
Mm-hmm.
he is one of those people. I should get him on here. He's one of those really, like you. He's a multi-instrumentalist, and he himself is essentially a songwriter.
Yeah.
But what he brings to production from that mindset of
Yeah.
being a creator,
Yeah.
it's magical. And I
Yeah.
think it really helps artists. Like, it helps artists feel comfortable. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this person actually understands what I'm trying to do.
Do you feel like you're how much of that vibe do you feel like you're responsible for curating? Like obviously
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, I don't know. That would be a stretch. I think for me and what the staff here does, I mean, it's like a hotel. You work
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
5-star hotel.
yeah, for me, it's basically get you what you need, get out of your way, but make you feel welcome
Yeah.
and make you feel supported.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel kind of like what you were saying, I feel so fortunate and blessed to be able to manage the place and keep it going so that new creators and generations of
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
musicians get to come and work here.
You're single-handedly responsible for so many careers and
Oh,
so
I-
much music.
I don't know about that.
No, Candace, this is
But-
the truth. It's
but
crazy.
This
Like,
is really about Max today, but I don't mind the
no,
compliments.
but it's true, y'all. If people don't already know, if people listen, you're coming back to watch this years later. Hollywood, the music industry.
Oh, my God.
There's a history of music that would not exist with a handful of people. Candace is one of them.
Oh, that's so kind
the
of you to
truth.
say that.
It's the truth.
Well, Paula Salvatore, Roseman, Fariel at Henson, Stacy at Conway,
Yeah.
Josh at Sunset, anybody who runs a studio, large or small, you gotta love music, and you gotta want to help people create music.
Yeah.
Because that's your job. Your
Yeah.
job is to set a tone, set a vibe, and get out of the way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish I had more pictures. Paula has all the pictures. I wish I had more photos. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the podcast, was to shine a light on everyone, the
Yeah.
engineers, the artists, the songwriters,
That's
the
awesome.
producers,
Yeah.
the people that work in studios.
Yeah.
And
The
and
podcast is great, by the way.
what?
Yeah, podcast
Do
is
you like
great.
it?
Yeah, I think you're doing a great
And
job.
thanks. How you
Yeah.
take it takes a village, and I wanted to have something to remember when I retire.
Totally.
So I can look back on all this. But one of
Yeah.
the things I'm proud of, and I love you. You know this.
Love you too.
I don't tell you that I'm proud of you, but I'm really proud of you
Wow.
because you've been out there
Yeah.
kicking ass,
Yeah.
and it's not easy, dude.
No, it's not easy.
And then COVID.
Yeah.
Like, fuck COVID, by the way.
Yeah, fuck COVID. Yeah.
But how good thing about COVID, people had to stay home and write.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good thing. Bad thing, no live venues.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't go see anybody.
Yeah, it was tough.
And that was so tough, and I am just so proud of you for making a go of it.
Thank you.
I mean, and I keep going off track. So high school, college, Cornish,
Yes.
Berkeley.
Wow. Yeah. Great memory.
When do you did you move to LA when you came here to work for me? No.
Yeah, pretty much.
What?
Well, I was here a little bit.
How
This
old are
is
you now?
27.
And how old were you? 23?
23.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, 23.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Are your
22.
parents still supportive? That's the other question.
Incredible. I'm
bless them.
so lucky. God bless them. They're incredible.
Nice.
Um,
What have you been doing? I mean, I know some of it, but
Yeah.
they don't. So let's talk about the
it.
journey
talk
after
about it.
Berkeley and then
Well-
coming into LA.
well, really, it's kind of the journey.
Because you were here at the Whiskey at 13.
Right.
And then 10 years later, after you turned down your record deal.
the opportunity of a lifetime. Let's be frank.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. No, there'll be others.
No, yeah, of course.
There'll be others.
They already have
But
it.
so then it's 10 years later.
Yeah.
And then you make the commitment.
Yeah.
You come out to LA. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm ready to go to
I'm ready,
California. And then
yes.
COVID.
And then yeah, I will
That was
say
fucked up.
it was fucked up of COVID to do that to me. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kidding.
fuck that. I agree.
I was kidding. No, LA was a little different before COVID. I felt like people were down to go out during the weekdays a little
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
It seemed like there's a little more nightlife energy.
I agree.
Just a hair more energy to like go out. And it feels pretty much back now.
It's getting back. Yeah.
It's getting back. But working here was the first job out of college for me.
Oh, wow.
And I had some odd jobs, but nothing that was aligned with my career. Like this was the first, and I got to see, some of my favorite artists of all time, just like how they would set up a room.
Like the process, yeah.
Yeah, the process, like seeing how the sausage is made, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting that they would order food from, they specifically will only order really nice food from this Brazilian place because they just want to feel decadent,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
Without
You learn a
naming
lot
names.
about people by
Yeah.
by what they eat and drink, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
We're all over the map. But I think it's never going to hurt you as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to hurt you to know how to record or how records are made. I think the best A&R people understand production. I
Yeah.
think the best producers obviously understand production. And they don't have to be a musician, but that doesn't hurt either.
Well, yeah. What's interesting is like, I think one of the greatest sound things that East West taught me was, I learned how to listen a lot more intently.
Critical listening.
Yeah, my critical listening went from like, I think it was maybe at like a 6 to it feels like a 9 or a 10 now.
Oh, I'm
Just
sure
like
it's
completely completely listening to every small and part of that is the gear here. Just being able to listen on those ATCs where
Right.
everything's flat, but you're getting the entire
Dynamic range.
The
Yeah,
entire
you-
dynamic range.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that for you as a creator and as a songwriter and as a musician,
Yeah.
I think you're a great lyricist.
Thanks.
And I think you
Thanks, Candace.
should always nurture that side of yourself. And you're a good musician as well. But being a great lyricist, I mean, let's look at our favorite artists.
Yeah.
Let's look at Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Let's look at Bruce Springsteen.
Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, Leonard Cohen
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure, and realize that the important relationship between lyrics and the music that backs them up, creating
Yeah.
a melody, etc.
Yeah.
Like when you write a song,
Yeah.
do you have a melody in your head musically, or do you write lyrics first?
Yeah, I'll
A
usually.
lot of people write music first and then lyrics.
It's usually music first.
Okay.
But it could go anyway, you know. And then sometimes it's collaborative. Like on this record, there's quite a bit of collaboration. The producer I worked with. Have I told you about Jeff?
Mm-mm.
No, really? Oh man.
Who have you been working with?
This dude named Jeff Sines. Shout out Jeff Sines at Modern Electric, and that's in Dallas, hometown.
Okay.
And Jeff and I. Oh man, they're so.
Yeah, just talk. Let's talk. I want to hear about him.
Yeah.
Is he an engineer as well?
Yeah, he's an engineer as well. So he, I'll just kind of get to like where I am now ish.
Yeah. Well, you were at East West, and then you left East West because you were touring.
Yeah. Well, it was more just to start making the record.
Right. Start making the record and touring
and
stuff.
so on. And right before that got started, COVID hits, and I get this offer from Jeff. He goes, "Hey, I know resource is an issue for you. So if you want to make a record, I'll produce it and we can record it at my studio."
Nice.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
And
God bless.
God bless. And I said, this is the most generous, incredible thing I've maybe ever been offered. So let me give this some like respectful thought and not just like jump to a yes.
Right.
Although immediately I wanted to say yes.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
But like I just wanted to be like, this is huge. Let me take this seriously. Said yes. A handful of months into COVID, we are going to get started, wear a mask in the studio, did that whole spiel.
Yeah.
And we get going pretty quickly on these songs that we feel really confident about, that are fun, and we feel like we're like pushing molds of like rock and roll. We're huge rock and roll heads. All we want to do is just make rock and roll. If it's not rock and roll, it's like the spirit of it.
Right.
So like we're pushing the genre forward as much as possible at all times by fusing, by pulling influences from all sorts of other stuff. And we've got this flow going that turns into 4 songs, and I'm about to come out to record the 5th song, 5th and 6th. Because I'm still living in LA. I'm going between.
Going back and forth, I remember, yeah.
And the night before I fly back to record this 5th song, he comes in contact with the down power line. And
I think you told me about this.
Yeah, so I have told you about this, yeah.
No, I don't know. Tell the story, though.
Okay, yeah. The down power line.
Was he walking or driving?
No, it was in his front yard from poor maintenance. So it falls, makes this sound, and he's inside. He's like, what is that? So he goes outside to just inspect this like kind of sound he hears.
Oh, shit.
And it's a power line that powers the whole block. So it's got something like
Oh, Jesus.
like thousands of volts. You know what I mean?
Oh,
or
my
whatever
God.
it is. Thousands and thousands of volts. And it's so strong, in fact, that it found the working theory is the current was so strong, found the piece of metal that he was holding.
So when he walked outside, this whip-like power line reaches 20 feet across a room.
Not 20, but I like the dramatization.
Okay, 5 feet, 10 feet.
100 feet.
Okay, it's hanging down, but he walks outside and this thing whips up to like a ring or a bracelet?
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
And just like electrical currents go, they have to have an entrance and an exit.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So
I've seen that on people's bodies.
You've seen that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what happens.
It's like a bullet.
It's like a bullet. It's like, well, it's like
much worse.
I mean, he caught on fire.
It's like a big bullet.
Yeah. One
Is he alive?
He's alive.
Oh, my God.
So
is he okay?
Is okay. Miraculously.
Is his brain okay?
Brain's okay, and it's because of a Virgin Mary necklace he was wearing. Isn't that nuts? He's not Christian. He's not, but...
Do we think that's fun?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mother Mary.
Thank you, Mother Mary.
Mother Mary comes to me.
Thank you, Mother Mary.
John Lennon said it.
Yeah.
I think that's what he meant.
It was so...
Unless John's mom's name was Mary, but whatever. I digress.
Yeah.
But
Mama Mary, he might have said.
But so, Jeff.
So
What the F?
It melts into his skin, this necklace, because it was so hot, and he...
So now he's got the permanent impression of Mother Mary on his neck?
He's got the permanent impression of the like
the
chain link, and then just like a blotch.
Right. That's fucked up.
But man, it was crazy. Yeah. So he ends up.
Who finds him? Does he like how does he disconnect? So this horrible thing happens.
Yep.
Electricity goes in, electricity goes out.
Yep.
Does he somehow free himself? I mean, he's on fire.
Right.
But does he free himself from the wire?
Oh,
is he rolling the grass? Was there people around?
No, when that much electricity is coming through you, you can't you're not making conscious decisions. You are
A conduit.
You're a conduit to this electrical current to flow through you,
Dude,
and you're completely
that's so hectic.
He was blacked out at this point.
Yeah.
His fiance at the time, girlfriend.
And by the way, if you go out and touch someone, if this is happening to someone and you touch them,
Yes.
you will then become an additional conduit.
Yes.
So I think I read somewhere, I don't know why I know this. This is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
You take a piece of rubber garden hose
Yeah.
or something like that to touch the person.
It just can't be metal.
It can't be metal.
Can't be metal.
Yeah. Or skin on skin if the person's already going through this. Oh my God.
So his girlfriend gets a broom, a wooden broom.
A broom. Okay, perfect.
A wooden broom. And miraculously, this is a crazy part of the story. The week prior, she bought a surplus of fire blankets just for fun.
Random.
She's just like, I feel like we should have these in case. And he's like, okay, yeah, let's talk about where to put them. So they got it from Amazon. They had this huge conversation. Okay, it should go here because we might need to grab it for the stove. We should go here. But so she grabs a broom and the fire blanket.
Oh my God, God bless her.
Monica Cooper, God bless her, throws it on Jeff and pulls it off, bless you, with the wooden broom. And there's a 911 call.
Wraps him in the fire blanket.
Yeah, or just throws it on him because he was on fire. There's a 911 call where she's like really distressed on the other side. Is this too much?
No, I like it. I think it's
good?
important. No, I think it's important because we're going to show how it fits into the journey and how awesome he was offering his services and this terrible thing that happened to him. And he does come out on the other side.
He
does. I wanna
does.
hear.
Yeah. And it is a huge part of this
So 911.
whole story. 911, you hear her on the other side saying like, it's going to be okay, baby. It's going to be okay. And she's like, yeah, we need somebody here immediately. She handled it miraculously, an absolute miracle.
Wow.
So many moments led up to him surviving.
Oh,
but
wow.
he is one in however many hundreds of thousands, millions, one in that you make it. And he was one.
Oh, wow.
And spends the next 2 months in an induced coma, or a month in an induced coma.
Yeah, because he's burned.
Yeah, in and out. And they determine in these comas that he has to have his. Now remember, he's a musician.
Yeah.
He's a motorcycle enthusiast.
Oh.
Okay, and he just had a daughter.
Oh, God.
Lola, she's the best.
Oh, wow.
So cute. And they determine while he is in the induced coma that he has to have his left hand amputated.
Oh, no.
Because the nerves are fried. That's where it entered.
Oh, gotcha.
And the nerves were fried, and the muscles were fried, everything. It's just dead weight.
So to protect him.
Yeah, to protect him.
Yeah.
So they amputate, I think it's either the left or the right. Might have been the right. And then a handful of weeks go by, and the whole community's reeling. All of his friends. I mean, imagine if you got this call, like
insane.
somebody you love, super
no.
close to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everybody's like, "What? He got his hand amputated? What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, right.
And the big question then was, is the other one going to be okay? They end up having to amputate the other hand, so now he's a double amputee. And the way the community responds is we start doing these things called Jeff Fest.
Oh, see, this is good because you were going out there to record anyway. So now you're
so
like going to rally.
I was there, yeah. And so we start putting these bills together of all the people he's worked with, the lives he's touched, because he's a part of, he grew up in
community. Yeah.
He grew up in Orange County, he moved to Texas. Like he's firmly in the music community of the U.S., largely in L.A. and Dallas. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So he's tapped in, and all these people came together. People like Shaky Graves, Paul Cawthon, Texas Gentleman, obviously About You, just a ton of people. A ton of people I'm not listing, but like all incredible. And raised somewhere around like $200K for his medical expenses.
Wow.
But the way the medical system is right now, his bill ended up being something like 1.2 million. It was something like that. But he was covered. He had insurance, and the money raised was so his family could pay, mortgage, food, live.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great that you did that, dude. What
I was a part of it. I can't take ownership.
Well, it's so great that everyone did.
Everyone did it. Yeah, Bo, this guy Bo, who was also a part of the studio they work at, and a good friend of mine. He's awesome. Bo's incredible. I bet he'll record here eventually. Probably do something.
Oh, good. I hope so.
Bo set up Jeff Fest 2, or Jeff Fest 1, and then but anyways.
How is Jeff doing now?
And so, let me answer that.
Okay. Yeah.
First, let me say, while he was in his hospital bed, and people weren't really sure if he would be the same person. People weren't sure if he'd come back, if I'd be able to talk to him like this, if we could like get lunch. Who knows? Yeah. And if he,
what functionality?
What functionality? And then if he does come back, is he going to want to do music?
Right.
Because like, would you want to be in music if you can't?
Yeah.
Play with your hands, Well, yeah.
I think I don't know him, but I'm guessing he probably does.
But yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Because
music is a thing you can't deny.
Yeah, it's true.
And
there's so many ways to express it. It's not just,
for sure.
Obviously, orally is like the first way.
Yeah.
But while in his hospital bed, I get a FaceTime from him. And this FaceTime is miraculous because, like I said, he's in an induced coma. So if he's awake, who knows if he has the wherewithal to talk to somebody. And if he does, who's he going to talk to?
Right.
So I get this FaceTime call from him, which is just like
a miracle.
A miracle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, everything stops. And I'm talking to him on FaceTime, and I'm like, how are you? Man, I love you so much. And he's like, oh, dude, just getting through it, and I love you too. And I'm thinking, I wonder if he'll still want to be doing music.
Right.
And so I tell him, I have this idea if you want to hear this song idea. And he's like, yeah. He lights up. His eyes get all big.
Oh.
So I go over to my organ. I have this combo organ, like one of those like 70s combo organs.
Yeah.
And I pressed one of the buttons that's like, it plays the beat, like the bossa nova beat or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can play the foot pedals. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I have this, and I'm playing the foot pedals. It actually sounds really great. And I start singing him this song idea. It's like, and it's like, what if I could? And I start seeing him on the other side of this phone call. Like his eyes start getting bigger, and he starts like perking up a little more. And then he starts like, like you look to the right, it's a lie.
Yeah.
You look to the left, it's an idea, or something like that.
Yeah. When people who are creators, they do that. They look up when they're creating.
He starts looking up, and he goes, okay, what if you go, and we start writing this song in between his amputation surgeries over FaceTime. And the surgeon's literally just holding the phone because he can't hold it up. So the or one of the doctors is, and he goes, oh, hey, the surgeon just walked in, I got to go.
Oh,
and
my God.
And we get off the phone, and I'm like, that was incredible.
That's crazy.
And I'm still reeling from it. I'm telling my friends. And then I get another FaceTime call from him moments later. I'm like, oh, my God. And I go back to the organ. He goes, hey, I have more ideas. So we keep just like, so that's the next single we're putting out. And it's called What If I Could.
Oh, I love it.
Man, it's just the most incredible origin.
Yeah, so what things he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, did they give him hooks? Does he have hands now?
He's got one. So one of his amputations was below the elbow. The other one is above.
Okay.
The below the elbow is considerably easier for a prosthetic.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And he mainly uses that one. And at first it was the hand, but all I could do was just open and close and then do like a little spin trick. Mm-hmm. But like functionally, actually, the robot hand isn't that.
The claw is probably better.
The claw's better.
Yeah, I've seen people. It's interesting. I don't see it that often, but there are other musicians that are, I don't know. I won't even say handicapped because I don't think they're handicapped. But I've seen musicians that have been in situations like that.
Yeah.
Or like the drummer for.
Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Why'd they sell 2 sticks at Guitar Center though?
That's but yeah, that's mean. But still plays. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I've seen people like that, and the functionality seems to be better with that metal thing.
Yeah, the claw is better.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Until we get, and God bless everybody out there who's doing research on this kind of stuff and trying to make it better for people that have lost a limb or a hand. God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing because I'm sure you're going to come up with a way. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to come up with a way to have the bionic hand.
Yeah, eventually. And that's a thought, right?
Yeah.
And...
Or stem cell grow your hand back.
Right.
I'm just saying,
guys. Why aren't we there?
Lizards grow back tails.
Why aren't we there? Yeah. Lizards can do it. Why can't we? We're behind.
We are behind. Yeah. In the animal kingdom. I don't know. Just saying.
Yeah. Lizards look at us and.
Oh man, they're lame. They can't even grow their tail back.
Oh God, so passe.
But so he's now. You were already collaborating. He was already recording your stuff.
Yeah.
Are you still writing together?
Yeah. So we ended up finishing out this album. It's a 14-track album.
Oh my God, I love
10
this.
songs, yeah. And a lot of those songs were recorded after this accident.
Wow.
And I'd say capture a bit of that energy of documenting the
gratitude
yeah. and recovery and
probably some of the pain
and
yeah.
love and man, it's all in there. It's
the
all
human spirit, dude. We're pretty hard to keep down.
Yeah, it's incredible how resilient the body and the spirit is, and it's also very finely balanced.
I
agree. So finely balanced.
I agree, because there'll be moments of deep sadness and deep pain.
Of
but
course.
You keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
I don't want to be insensitive to people who suffer from depression or who feel suicidal, but I'll just say that it's really hard for me to relate to that.
Yeah.
Because I've been sad in my lifetime. I've been depressed. We've all had moments of trial and struggle.
All of this, you're like, I don't know.
I don't get it. Like, don't be a pussy, Okay, come on.
I was like, just
because there's so much to live for.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is. Don't be a quitter.
Yeah. Don't quit.
I still drink.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say, when you hear stories like this, if you are somewhere and if you are sad or you're thinking, oh, woe is me, fuck off. This guy had his hands cut off.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's still fucking keeping it together.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not actually a counselor now, because I tell the poor depressed person to not be a pussy.
Tell them to grow a pair.
Yeah, grow a pair.
And they'd be like, I never thought about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me just go and do that.
Well, self-pity, like I always used to say, nobody wants to come to the pity party.
Yeah.
Because, what fun is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you look at all these people that overcome all these miraculous hurdles. Yeah. I was talking to someone earlier today about an engineer who I really admired, a famous, talented engineer named Shel Talmy, who did the Kinks and all these things.
Oh, cool.
And he was blind.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
great engineer, better hearing.
I will say that might give you maybe an advantage.
I'm sure it probably did
in some ways.
But he never,
for being a musician.
He never,
obviously.
Then you have people like, what was his name? Who I love so much. It's not Jeff Buckley, the other guy, the guy that played piano and sang but was blind.
Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles?
No, it's a white guy, blonde.
I don't know.
Jeff Healey.
Oh, Jeff Healey.
Dude. Fucking gone too soon, but
peace.
super talented.
Yeah.
And had like a weird fucked up cancer of the brain that affected his optic nerve.
Damn. That he wasn't even using.
He went blind from it. But he got that when he was a little kid.
Really?
And lived to be like into his 20s or 30s.
He got the tumor when he was a kid?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he had the cancer when he was a kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but a great musician.
Wow.
Like a smoking musician.
Yeah.
Do you remember Jeff Healey?
No.
Well, you need to check out Jeff Healey.
Okay.
You would totally do. Somebody find Jeff Healey and put a Jeff Healey song on in the background. And I think he might have been from Texas.
Cool.
But badass organ and piano player and singer.
That's awesome.
And just and guitar too. Played guitar laying on its. Played guitar. He was a badass guitar player.
Yeah.
And guitar was laying down like this.
Oh.
But a regular guitar.
A regular guitar. Would he play it like he would push down?
He'd do pedal steel too, but anyway, he's a badass.
Cool.
So yeah, Jeff Healey. There you go.
Healey.
Shout out to Jeff Healey. But and overcoming obstacles. So and this is such a beautiful story because now you've written 14 tracks.
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
Dude, that's such a cool story.
Yeah, we just grew to be really close. I mean, it became like a
labor of love.
A labor of love, but so many. I mean, it was he's rehabbing into the world. He's learning how to starting from zero again in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you can't drive.
Can't eat, buckle your pants. You got to get a bidet. You got to figure out how to do this whole new life world interacting with, and how much you use your hands to itch the back of your ear, to put
I'm
your
reaching
shirt
around
on,
right now,
you know what
sneezing,
I mean, to open the door, it's everything.
Oh, dude, everything.
Literally everything, and then not to mention being a musician or being a motorcycle guy. So
now same fiance.
Same fiance.
Stuck through. Got married.
Is still engaged.
Okay.
Engaged, but yeah.
Close the gap, man. Get married. Commit. You're already commit all the way. I'm just saying. If you ever watch this podcast,
see that's Candace's armchair therapist advice again.
Get married.
Hop to.
Yeah. Get it together, man. It's still been going out to Dallas. Still living here.
Yeah.
Been touring. Are you playing these songs out live?
Oh yeah. So part
I
of
mean, I know most of this, but I have to say it for the game.
yeah. So like part of the reason About You is called About You is people send us stories and we adapt them into songs.
Okay.
So a handful of the songs on the record are stories sent in and that we had then adapted along with like all this experience with Jeff. And when we're touring, I'll always make sure to announce that if you have a story or whatever it is that you feel like could end up on the next record or next time we're in
That's kind of cool.
Davenport, Iowa, you want us to, you might hear your story turn into a song,
Oh, wow. I don't think, I'm sure every artist obviously takes their life experiences and pulls from that to write their music.
It's always in there, yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever heard of anybody offering to an audience member. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, and
what a boom! What a great idea.
Boom. You hear some pretty crazy shit too, because people are willing.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
There's some crazy shit going on.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. A lot of men trying to like win back somebody. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like man,
I got tears in my ears from laying on my back crying over you. That's my country song.
That's a good one.
I think that's actually a song.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Those are good lyrics. Wow.
Yeah, that's country in particular lends itself. Heartbreak is the inspiration for. I always did joke at one of my. I think Dave Grohl is a great songwriter, and I was teasing him one time, and I'm like, "You're so happy all the time. Like, how can you write these songs? Everybody knows you need to be melancholic to like come up with song ideas.
Yeah.
Lock yourself in a room with your pain, so to speak." But yeah. So telling people to tell their story, I think that's crazy cool.
Totally, and it helps kind of with what you're talking about, like
it's cathartic.
It's cathartic for everyone involved, and it also allows, I think,
gives you a different point of view instead of just writing your own story.
Exactly. Yeah, it allows you like an objective point of view more so than something so subjective. But you're like you're saying the subjective things, like in my own life, will slip in there, and Jeff's like
Do you ever get competing like when someone's like when you're doing your thing and someone's telling you their story? Do you ever go, yeah, well, one time what happened to me was like one up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I say that as a
joke. We're joking.
No, it's a competition always. I hope they come up to you. I dare you to have a better story than me.
That's so funny.
No.
Dude, I fucking love this.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I just assumed it was all from your own personal experience. I didn't realize you were sort of putting it out there to other people.
And it's not all songs.
Understood.
Are that, but
yeah. So don't think you're gonna get a song on the record.
Yeah,
okay,
it's not guaranteed.
You better come up with a good fucking story.
Step one: emphasize everything.
yeah.
Dramatization.
Yeah, you just make some shit up. That's really hardcore.
Yeah.
Go, well, I fell off a mountain. You know what I mean?
Fell off a mountain. Tell me more.
And I grabbed an electrical wire and rode it down to the bottom of the hill.
Starsky and Hutch style.
Do not zip line on power wires. Dude,
Experience.
I'm going to get in so much trouble. Anyway, your friend's going to hate me.
No. He makes sure, you got to laugh through the shit.
Dude,
yeah.
You got to make
What is
fun
life if not, if it's not a tragedy or comedy, I think it's comedy,
Yeah.
You got to be able to laugh
Well,
at
Shakespeare,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still living in LA though.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you going out and working still with Jeff.
Yep.
In Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have any people that you're writing with here? Or collaborating with here?
Actually, the person I write with here the most, I met here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he didn't work here. He was wheeling in some gear for somebody else.
Oh, who was it?
His name's Carter John.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does Carter do for a living?
Shout out Carter.
What does Carter
my boy.
do?
He's an engineer, producer.
Cool.
So after Jeff's accident, when we were trying to figure out how to continue going, I was like, well, my friend Carter and Carter worked on War on Drugs, Deeper Understanding.
Oh, nice.
With Sean Everett.
Yes, we love Sean Everett. Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to Sean. And so Carter was able, and Jeff's a huge War on Drugs fan, so Carter
flew out to Dallas and actually
was Jeff's hands, basically.
manned the console.
Yeah, manned the console.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Carter ended up mixing a bunch of songs too, along with Mark Needham and Greg Gordon. Yeah.
Nice.
Mainly Carter though.
Did I get you a meeting with Mark Needham?
You did, yeah. Mark, actually, he only got to mix those songs because of you too. Yeah, everything's through Candace, y'all. That's what I'm saying.
I just remembered trying to help and wanting you to meet Mark.
Yeah, and Mark's awesome.
because he's a developer. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah.
Mark gets it, and he comes from a place. I don't know. He was a good. I have to get him. I didn't have a video when I talked to Mark
Yeah.
in the podcast, but he comes from a place of being a player as well and
Yeah.
being a musician as well.
Yeah.
And so he understands the artist's
Pretty intimately.
mindset
Yeah.
and sensitivity.
Yeah.
That we were talking at the very beginning of the podcast about being precocious and being
Yes,
campy and
of
having
course.
and liking to be a showman and to perform in front of people, but how vulnerable and how brave you have to be
Yeah.
to put yourself out there
Yeah.
in front of people.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just goofballs, so
Of course.
and I'm not a performer, but you
are in some
we
ways.
just do it.
You know what I mean?
You just get out there and
Look
do
at this
it.
chair you're sitting in. You say you're not a performer? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, no, you're a performer
Oh,
for
well,
sure.
I don't know.
You're behind the
Hi,
scenes performer.
How you doing? But I think that for a producer, and one of the things that makes a great producer,
Yeah.
Rick Rubin, Mark Needham,
Yeah.
so many wonderful Bob Rock,
Yeah.
is realizing that you're putting your baby. You said earlier, your baby.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
here, look at my baby.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And you, as a performer and lyricist,
Yeah.
your lyrics,
Yeah.
your musicianship,
Yeah.
you're putting yourself. You're very vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the best producers, engineers, collaborators, they know that and they nurture that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and support it and make you feel safe.
Yes. Yes.
Like literally make
Well
you feel
said.
safe.
I know, and it's a really underappreciated, subtle.
The trust.
The trust, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like this guiding that it's kind of like it's like a manager in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like a manager won't be like, hey, you know what we should do? We should do this, and that, and I'm gonna go do it myself.
Well, unless you're Colonel Parker.
But you know what I mean?
He was sensitive to Elvis. I guess.
Like a manager will facilitate the ideas, the artist. Really, artists will do mostly everything, and then the managers come in to be like to execute.
Right.
You know, to be like, okay, that's how we're doing. Let me see how I can help, how I can facilitate.
Right.
And of course, when you get to like the level where you as an artist are an empire and you're this
Right.
whole freaking ginormous team, that's different.
That's different.
But like most managers are going to help facilitate the goals of the artist, just
And the
like
exposure.
and the
Like, where are you
exposure.
gonna play?
But just like the producer, the
Right.
producer is not going to write you a hit song.
Right.
They're not going to write you a song from your heart.
Right.
You're going to emote, and the producer's job, one of the many producers' jobs, is to create that space. Just like I was saying, the space of East West is like it's vital to create. Where are you creating? Where
Yeah.
are you drawing this inspiration? And if the producer can help
Safe haven.
like dial in that radio meter where it's just right on the money.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, let's make sure you have sweet green for lunch because you love sweet green, and let's make sure that we have the lava lamps going.
Yeah, the
and
vibe.
you know what I mean? Like, and obviously the gear and behind the scenes are like, yeah, let's run that through these pre's and blah blah blah, and use these mics
Through the Fairchild.
through the Fairchild. We're getting all this through the Fairchild,
Yeah,
right?
this is all going through the Fairchild, right? Just a Fairchild. We just say the word Fairchild over and over again, and people will be like, "What the fuck's a Fairchild?" Because if you listen to podcasts and you don't understand what we're talking about, we all stand on the shoulders of giants, and all the people that created this audio gear, and all the electronics geniuses, like, and acoustic designers and
Yeah.
engineers, and
Yeah.
just everybody that makes a microphone, or
Yeah.
every crazy person that builds a piece of outboard gear,
Yeah.
or a delay, and even you plug-in people. I'll give you a shout as well.
And stop. Oh,
Who was the
God.
guy who made the organ that you could play with your foot pedals?
Yeah.
That crazy thing.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say-
stop putting too many plugins
Stop
on your
doing it. Yeah,
stuff.
stop. It's just
We call it the death spiral.
Make it a one-time purchase, y'all. Can I just put that out there? Let's not have the renewal. Let's just come on, y'all. Once you get it, you got it, and we're good. No? That's
Oh,
how
yeah,
I feel.
yeah.
You know, the renewals.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't do the
Software
renewals.
updates. Fuck software updates.
The software updates are the. You know what? It's crazy. It's like.
And don't use too many plugins.
Yeah, it's like you should budget at this point a day of troubleshooting all of the software something's
Dude,
gonna
every
happen.
year for us, when we have to renew all of our licenses
Yeah.
for all of the
Oh my
rigs,
God, it's like thousands
and
of
all
dollars.
of the plugins,
Yeah.
and all. It's like, oh fuck, that's gonna run. And there was Keith will,
Looks like we have to fire one person to afford that.
dude, Keith will tell
Yeah.
you, like, right around, like, everyone goes away at Christmas time, and I'm usually here alone with like one runner, and I'll be like, did we renew the licenses?
Yeah.
Because the Pro Tools licenses would like go down on
Yeah.
December 30th,
Right.
and I would be here going like, oh my God, everybody's gone.
Yeah, everybody's gone. Yeah.
And we haven't renewed the licenses.
No, that's
but we
real.
don't have that problem now because we have Sam and other people on
Let's go,
staff
Sam.
that are keeping on top of things.
Shout out Sam.
Shout out to Sam. He just left. But so now Jeff is going through. He's still learning. He's
Yeah.
still recovering. You're still
Yeah.
working together. You're
Yeah.
collaborating with Carter here. What is About You doing now?
Oh,
What are
man.
you doing, dude?
We're finally putting this record out. It's called The Lighthouse, The Storm.
Okay.
And
That's a good name. I like that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And we're booking tours. We're going to go on a big U.S. run from May to July.
Oh, cool. Where are you going to play?
Oh man, all over from L.A. to Newport.
I missed your show. I sucked.
Oh no, you're
I'll
you're
come
good.
to- I'll come to the
rock.
next show.
No, you're okay. There'll be many shows.
I will come to your shows.
There'll be
I
many
promise
shows.
I'll make it to a show.
You know, you should come to the show next week.
Where is it?
We're gonna do the fundraiser. Did I
Oh,
tell you
where's
about this
it at?
fundraiser?
No, where's it at?
We're gonna do a fundraiser for the fires
Where
at the Lodge Room.
Oh, yeah. Now,
Did I
is
say
Jimmy still there?
Jimmy?
You have to find out who the guy is because I had a friend named Jimmy who works at the lodge room. It's an old Masonic lodge,
Yeah.
and it's in Highland Park.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What a beautiful room. So
Yeah.
he took. So I know him. Well, I don't know if he's still working there.
Yeah.
But he took me there to tour it, and
Oh,
I went
cool.
to see it, and I went, "What a rad venue!"
It's such a great venue. It's one of the only independent venues of that size in all of LA anymore.
It's very cool
Yeah.
there.
Everything else is Live Nation or.
And it had this like really like cool lighting.
Yeah. The vibe is incredible.
Very cool. I'll be there.
Yeah.
What night is the lodge?
The 18th. But yeah, I've organized this whole
Tuesday night. I'll go.
fundraiser. Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Andrew
I'll go.
Bird.
What?
Andrew Bird's going to play.
I'm so down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a ton of people. Yeah.
Do I need to RSVP and I'll pay or I'll contribute or donate?
Yeah, it's all wildfire relief. So.
Okay.
Um,
Is it like silent auction or
We'll
or the
do-
money from the door?
yeah,
Goes.
every little bit of everything. So 100% of net profit.
Great.
There might be a couple costs, but 100% of net profit, which is just basically the venue's basically donating.
How much is it
everything.
to get into the show?
$34.
Worth every penny.
Yeah, there's 10 artists. 11. About to be 11. We're going to announce one more.
Okay, so Tuesday night. By the way, this podcast won't come out for months and months and months.
Perfect,
But
perfect.
Tuesday night, February 18th.
Yeah.
Will already be passed when this podcast
And you'll be
comes
able to
out.
look back
and
on
if
it.
you missed it, what a dumbass you were for not going. If you heard about the show at the lodge and you didn't go, I'm here to tell you you're a dumbass.
Yeah, but also if there's still a way that whoever's watching this can help with the fire relief, there's still
Yeah,
gonna
there'll
be
be time
lot.
months from now.
Or it's going to be a marathon.
It's gonna
not
be
a sprint.
ongoing.
It's going to be ongoing.
Yeah.
However you can help.
Now, were you directly affected by the fires in any way? I was
No.
not. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, good.
My house, North Hollywood. If there's a fire coming down Victory Boulevard, I got bigger problems.
Yeah, true. True.
And the studio here, where we are in Hollywood, thank God, thankfully,
Yeah.
not affected.
Yeah, good.
And now we got lots of rain.
And the rain, thank God for the rain. Oh my God. The city breathed a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Right? You could
And we don't want
feel it.
we don't want mudslides or landslides.
No,
but,
no. But the rain is so good.
But nothing happened to you. Nothing.
No. We evacuated just because the air was gnarly.
People don't realize how large Los Angeles is. I mean, it's so big.
Yeah.
It's so spread out.
Gargantuan.
It's so big.
Yeah.
And as devastating as Palisades Fire, Malibu, and Altadena are,
Yeah.
there are many, many, many areas of Los Angeles that were not affected. And the people in these areas, please go out and help the people that were affected.
Yeah.
So if you were fortunate enough to not have to deal with anything, by all means, go and help somebody who suffered. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Part of this, I mean, obviously, is to raise money and
LA strong.
LA strong, and to have some amount of resource for people.
But I think it's also to make people happy.
It's literally just to
Have fun.
have some
Listen to music.
some good energy,
Yeah.
spread the good vibes.
I got in
As
trouble.
simple
I'm
as it
not in
is.
trouble, but people thought I was insensitive because I had a happy hour on the 10th.
Yeah.
And that was during the week of the fires. And I called it Grateful
iconic.
Hour.
Yeah.
But a lot of people came out from like Thousand Oaks and stuff because
Yeah.
they were just alone, like people that were unaffected,
Yeah.
were alone in their house, like bumming out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, hey, come, let's have a drink.
Totally.
Let's have a snack.
No,
listen
as
to
you
some
should.
music.
As you should. I mean, I think
Normalcy is key.
normalcy is key. Yeah. What's strange
And
is
keeping venues open.
keeping venues open, keeping the shows going,
Yes.
keeping work happening.
Yes.
Because some
The
people,
bartenders, every person
everything.
needs their gig.
Yeah, it's like I heard a little bit of like, well, people who are planning to come out. Well, should I come? Like, it's like, yeah, no, you should totally
come.
visit. Yeah, come to. What do you
Yeah.
mean? It's not the city's not. The city is just as alive as ever. And in fact, I've never felt greater community.
I agree.
Because I saw the city step up in ways.
People
I'm sorry,
rallied.
the people step up in ways the city did not.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
The city.
We won't go there.
We won't go there, but I just saw the ways that like
The people.
the community rallied together.
Dude, I even,
immediately.
and the interviews that they have with people like in Palisades and
Yeah.
Altadena
Yeah.
on the ground. I
Yeah.
know a few people who are affected
Yeah.
personally, but everybody to a person through the devastation was
Yeah.
like, you know what? They were just things.
Yeah.
We're alive.
Yeah.
Our family's alive. And those of you who lost family, so sad,
Yeah.
so awful. But most people were just like, you know what? We're okay.
Yeah.
You know, and grateful.
Yeah,
Which really
yeah.
shows back to what we were talking about earlier, shows the true mettle of the human spirit.
True.
METTLE, people.
Yeah.
The real,
Well said.
the real ability to rise above.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you still read a lot of Bukowski?
I have not lately,
Not
but
lately.
I had my John Fonte phase, which I told you about. John Fonte.
No.
John Fonte was actually Bukowski's sort of.
Muse?
Yeah.
Really?
And he was from the 30s.
Oh.
And he also had an alter ego.
Yeah.
Like Bukowski had Henry Chinaski.
Yeah.
He had this guy named Arturo Bandini.
Arturo Bandini?
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
so John Fonte
name.
ended up doing a lot of screenplays and stuff like that. He had diabetes and he went blind,
Mm.
but he wrote a lot of movies and a lot of screenplays. But he wrote this, The Road to Los Angeles
Mm.
was a book he wrote, and another one was called Ask the Dust. And he was in Echo Park. He lived in Echo Park, and he worked in like a cannery in like Wilmington or something.
What
all
years?
here in LA.
In like the 50s?
30s and 40s and 50s.
Wow.
So he just behind Bukowski.
Wow.
And Colin Farrell and Selma Hayek did a movie of Ask the Dust.
Really?
You got to watch it.
Man, that's like the beginning of Echo Park existing.
Dude, you will dig it. She
That's
was like,
crazy.
she plays like a waitress in this dive bar, and he's this struggling writer.
Yeah.
You know, struggling writer.
Like all the oldest houses there are like.
Oh, dude,
from the-
Angelino Heights off of
Yeah.
Douglas, off of
Yeah,
Sunset
yeah,
there, all
yeah.
the Victorian houses
yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's amazing. Glassell Park. I mean, LA, if anybody's listening to this and you're wondering if you should come, LA is a really interesting city.
It's an
There's a
incredible
lot
place.
going on.
I love this city.
It's got great water. Great weather. I'm on crack. Great weather. Edit that
Everybody
out.
knows LA's got the best water shipped in.
Terrible water, yeah. No, I meant great weather. Great weather.
Yeah.
I'm choking here. But
Yeah.
so the show at the Lodge.
Show at the Lodge.
Touring.
Yeah, touring. And then we're going to do a tour in mainland Europe and
Good
UK
for
in
you.
August.
How are you? I'm just going to ask the brass tacks question.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
are you affording it?
It's tough to do any amount of touring as an indie musician. So the way you have to make it work is kind of me tapping into like my roots of my entrepreneurship, growing up and finding creative ways to make money. That's really my answer.
Like fundraising.
My easy answer. No, it's like finding sponsors,
gotcha.
finding gigs along the way that pay more than the gigs in the big cities.
Okay, gotcha.
Obviously planning enough in advance, having two bands on the bill on either side of us. We sandwich About You in between, or we're headlining between two local bands. So they have draw.
This is where
and then here we are.
entrepreneurship really comes in handy because, dude, there is a lot of coordination that
Yeah.
goes into a tour, even a small tour.
Oh my God. So it's easy, but it's so much work.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a lot of easy work, but you afford it by. I'm somebody who never thinks about parking. Like I'll just go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm semi.
So like.
And we live in LA, so parking's fucked.
Unless I'm going to K-Town, because K-Town. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but K-Town parking does suck.
Yeah.
But no, that's all to illustrate that like I will do it and then figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. So first of all, I'm so lucky to be playing with the friends and the musicians in the band.
Yeah, who are the other people in your band?
The current touring lineup is John McIntyre on bass.
Okay.
The guitarist will switch between Jake Weissman and Matt Benthal, and the drummers, currently the main one is Joe James on the drums, and then on the record is Ian Chang, Bradley Bartow, and Mackenzie Smith, and then Scott Lee on bass for some of the record too. And but yeah, I mean it's
Well,
just,
you got to figure out how you're going to eat on the way, where you're going to stay.
But it's a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? Because you got to give people per diems, pay them per show, and then you also want to make sure that it's fun and like you guys are
having a good time.
having a good time, getting good sleep, eating healthily.
Yep.
Because if you get poor sleep and you eat
Crap.
everyone's going to be pissy. You might get in some weird little tiff about.
So wait a minute.
Nothing.
How did it all work in the past when everyone was doing drugs? Oh, they didn't eat.
Yeah, they didn't eat. That's the secret.
And they burned out.
It's a drugs to food
drugs
ratio.
to healthy food ratio. So it's like enough cocaine, but then enough
But then,
organic
like,
food.
it's kind of like after you drink, you need to drink 1 glass of water. It's like a salad to bump ratio.
Right. Well, Keith, my trusty recording engineer, made a porchetta stuffed with bratwurst.
Wow.
And I'm like,
That
this
does
is
sound
like a
Keith.
coronary waiting to happen. Oh, and sauerkraut inside of a porchetta.
That sounds delicious, though.
That sounds insane.
Wow.
That's just insane. It sounds like a coronary. I don't know. It just
Man, if that's the coronary,
I don't know. I don't know. It just sounds crazy. That whole thing
Yeah.
sounds crazy.
No, that is crazy.
But yeah, you're sort of the father hen.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Yeah.
you're the tour manager.
Oh, my boys.
You're the tour manager. I know that's how I feel about the kids that work at the studio. But you're like the tour manager, road manager,
Everything. Janitor. It's like, it would be like
babysitter.
babysitter, TM,
Yeah.
like performer, just everything. And it is a lot, but
And
it's,
you're going to have some rude but funny stories after the tour because you're going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
going to hotels like, well, it looks so great online. It looks so great online.
Oh,
and,
man, it's
and then you
not-
get to you
yeah.
get in Europe in particular. Like I love Paris, and one of my favorite hotels is a hotel called the Art Hotel. The Art Hotel is not fancy. It is not expensive. It's like
Yeah.
€100 a night.
Wow.
And the first time I went there, I went to check in, and it looks so great online, and I go to check in. I'm like, man, this place is so cheap. This is great.
Yeah.
And I go to check in, and like, first of all, the key, they give me a key to a room that someone's in.
Yeah.
And it's like a key.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, there's people in there.
Right.
And they're having
And
a
they're like,
fight.
no, you-
and they're having a fight.
You join the people, no?
Like I can hear them having a fight.
Yeah.
Like this couple having a fight, and I go back downstairs and I go, there's someone in that room, and they go, oh yeah, wrong key. So then they give me a key to this other room,
Do
and
you
I
remember
go
what they were
in.
fighting about?
Yeah,
Anything
it
about
was
them?
a romantic row. It was a lover's quarrel.
Oh.
Shit was getting real.
Oh, maybe you should have stayed.
Probably should open the door. They were probably naked.
You should have gone in.
But then I was with my friend Thierry, who's an engineer, and then we go into our room and we have these 2 twin beds, and we're tired as fuck, and
Yeah.
we've had a long day, and we end up watching. This is the best story. We end up watching Rambo in French.
The most American French thing you could possibly do.
And I used to be able to speak French, and I can certainly understand it mostly, but we end up just laughing our asses off
Yeah.
watching this French overdub with Sylvester Stallone.
That's awesome.
As Rambo. I don't even know why I thought
That's
about
awesome.
that. But yes, it made me think about you having to get hotels. So may you have an experience.
I hope I get to walk in on somebody having romantic fights, you know what I mean?
Or
That
you get
sounds
to watch
pretty-
Rambo in French.
Or Rambo in French.
You
One
know
of the
what-
two. It's got to be one of the two, though, and I won't go if it's not.
The greatest thing about this hotel was at the very bottom, it had an incredible patisserie.
Yeah.
So you could go down and get like really good coffee and
Yeah.
hot croissants and go
Yeah.
back up to your little tiny little room.
Oh, I love France.
You know?
I became
What
a-
is up with the twin bed in Europe? Okay, I want to put this out there.
Yeah.
I'm American.
All right,
Okay.
listen up, France.
The smallest bed that we have in our hotels is like a full bed or a double bed or
Yeah.
queen size bed.
Right.
What's up with the twin fucking bed?
You know what?
In a hotel?
I feel like it
they're
might-
like 5'10".
It must be because they're it's just like an older place than
The room is
America.
really small.
The rooms are just small.
Seriously.
I think that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, because they're trying to like be like, oh, 2 beds, but it's like 2 beds.
Yeah,
you know
dude,
what I mean?
it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, anyway, I love France.
Yeah, me too.
Right on, France people.
Yeah, Maggie and I went to France this past summer. We drove all around.
Dude, yeah.
I'm like completely.
Everybody's nice everywhere.
completely in love. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I didn't experience the rudeness thing.
I never had trouble in Paris.
Yeah,
And or the countryside of
yeah,
France.
or the countryside.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone was super kind.
Everybody's nice.
Yeah, like at one point, this one lady was like, what? And I was like, you know what I'm saying. Like my French isn't that good,
Yeah,
obviously,
mine is not either.
but like.
But it comes back quick, though.
Yeah.
If you're actually in a foreign country, like I studied Italian before I went to Italy. Keith
Yeah.
always says, you went to Italy? I went one time. And I studied and studied and studied. And the second I got there, everybody spoke English.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to practice I'd be like, ¿Cómo estai?
¿Cómo estai?
How are you? But I
Buonasera.
didn't get to practice.
Yeah.
The same with French usually. Usually you just want to say like bonjour or be
Yeah.
polite, and then next thing you know, people are speaking English.
Yeah, I think that it's just the effort. It's like people,
I agree.
You just want to.
It's rude not to try.
Yeah, it's rude not to try. You just like the respect is the effort.
Of their culture and their language.
Yeah, and then it's like parlez-vous anglais,
Well,
and
can
they're
we
like,
just
yeah,
say that for everywhere? Be respectful
Be
of the
respectful.
culture and the language.
yeah, be respectful of the
Everywhere.
culture and language. Shout out, and also
Here
fix the twin
too.
beds. Damn it! No,
yeah. Take the twin beds, put them together. I don't know, somehow attach them. Which, by the way, I think that's how the queen bed was actually made, was from two twin beds.
Oh,
So not a double bed. A double bed, yeah. Okay.
some genius is like
mattress.
What if we put them together?
I need to go back into mattress history and find that out. Fun facts.
Mattress history.
But so yeah, we've come full circle. But
come full
you're so
circle.
young. I feel like we didn't cover lots of stuff.
Yeah,
like
of
there
course.
was 13, and then there was college.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
same girlfriend.
Well, yeah, I've been with the same girlfriend since woman.
Yes, grown woman.
Grown woman. Maggie.
Yeah.
Who's loved my life.
Yep.
Since we were 18.
Good for you.
Yeah, so 8.5 years.
Good for you.
And
When is your birthday?
July 1st.
Oh, right.
Yeah. When's yours?
Tax day, April 15th.
Oh, you cool.
So you'll be 27?
That's a good reframing of
Yeah, tax day.
tax
sucks.
day. I'll be 28.
Oh, you'll be 28?
Yeah.
I'll be 66.
Nice. That's
What
a good
the
age.
fuck?
Wow.
What is going on?
Wow.
I won't make it to 666.
Yeah. I love the alliteration of that age. That's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool.
Can numbers be alliteration? Is that a thing?
I
Like
think so. Well, there's
numerical alliteration?
numerology,
Yeah.
right? So 6 and 6 is 12, which breaks down to 1 and 2, which is a 3, and 3 is a good karmic number
Okay.
in numerology.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Why?
that's how numerology works.
Are you good at numerology? Okay. Well, can I tell you a date and you tell me about it?
Well, July 1st to be 7-1, so 7 and 1 is 8, which is
Do you have to know the year
4
too?
and
Does the year
4.
matter?
If we were doing this, yeah.
Okay. So it's 7/1/97. 1997.
01, yeah, 7-1, so 7-1, 8, 9 and 7 is 16, 8 and 16 is 24, so that's 2 and 4, that's 6, which divides down to 3 again.
This is really important, y'all. I want you guys to know that this moment means a
No,
lot
that
to me.
divides down to 3 again. It's interesting
Yeah.
how that works out. So yeah, I was April 15, which is 4/15, so 4 and 1 is 5, and 5 is 10.
Okay.
And then 1959.
And you want the tens or the ones, right? Like those are like the.
Well, most numbers always break down to I don't want to say a prime number, but to a primary number.
Yeah.
So single digit number.
Okay.
So let's see. 1959 is 1, 9, that's 10. 5 is 14. 9, what?
15.
Right, but I'm doing the year. So 1959. So 1 and 9 is 10. 5 is 14. 59. Then 9 is 24. 2 and 4 is 6. Breaks back down to 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's crazy. 3
Yeah.
and 3.
So 66 is probably going to be a great year for you.
That's going to be a great year for me.
Yeah.
Every year's been a great year for me. I'm really lucky.
Yeah. Every year, you do live an incredible life.
I feel
Like going back to the depression
lucky.
thing, I feel like obviously depression.
Things happen in our lives
Things
that make
happen,
us sad.
yes,
I
of
lost my
course.
dad when I was real young. My
Yeah.
mom was bipolar.
Of course,
God rest
yeah.
their souls.
Yeah, like
But
there
they
are
were
struggles.
cool.
But I think you maintain. How do you? Would you say there's more or less a single dogma you hold that helps you maintain that like joy of life and that kind of like persistent happiness or like
Remember when we were talking about being kids
Yeah.
and being able to play outside?
Yeah.
I think it all comes from not losing your childlike joy.
Oh wow.
Okay, I'm not trying to sound like a butthead, but
Yeah.
I really think if I had to pinpoint in
Yeah.
me why I'm happy and
Yeah.
why I'm a goofball,
total
I'm happy
goofball,
being
yeah.
a goofball,
Yeah.
and not ashamed of being a
Yeah,
goofball.
of course. You're an
is-
expert goof.
I'm an expert goofball, is don't ever lose that childlike wonder and that childlike joy. And I feel grateful. Like last night I was driving home.
Yeah.
Man, the moon was huge
The moon
last
was huge
night,
last
right?
night, yeah.
And so I
beautiful.
was driving home and I was, God, look at the moon. And when I got home, I went outside and I looked up at the moon and I thought, okay, if it isn't real, I don't care because it looks really cool.
Yeah. If it's made of cheese, maybe
I don't
I'll
even
try
know,
it one
you
day.
know, and yeah, if it's a projection, whatever, it's really fun. Right on.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good production
Right
if
on
it
for
is
the
one.
for the projection. I think you know, finding joy in the little things. You know,
Yeah.
like you were talking about, like we were talking about artists and the comfort zone, like eating sweet greens. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's all just be real. When
Yeah.
you're hungry
Right.
and someone gives you something that you love to eat,
Yeah.
that's a joy.
Oh, one of the
right?
sweetest joys.
Eating's great,
Yeah.
right up there.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
Do you get hangry? Are you a hangry kind of person?
No, I actually have very stable blood sugar.
Is that something I
which
should ask
might
Keith?
also have something to do with not getting depressed.
Oh, yeah.
I talked to Keith about this. I have a naturally stable blood sugar, so
Wow.
like I cannot eat. I can fast for a day and
Yeah.
not feel bad.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I'm really lucky like that. I'm always
Yeah.
trying to lose weight, so
Yeah.
I do the intermittent
You
fasting
look fantastic,
thing.
by the way.
I'm
Just
trying.
gorgeous.
I lost a couple pounds.
She's a
since I
vision.
last.
She's a vision.
My friend Rob was here earlier. He said, you're positively waif. Like, I still weigh 165 pounds, so I don't think I qualify for waif status yet. But
Positive
it's a
waif.
goal.
Yeah.
Potentially. Curvy waif.
I like that
We're going
blue,
for
too.
Zoftig waif.
I like Zoftig Wave. Now that
Dude,
blue
that's
on
a
you is
great
good.
name.
Yeah, Zoftig Wave. If you ever want a DJ name,
It's so funny.
After Party is DJ'd by Zoftig Wave.
But I think
That's a good blue on you,
I
too.
think
I like that
thanks.
blue.
I like this color.
Yeah.
But I think you're. I would say you're a happy person.
Yeah.
For the most part.
But it's my defense mechanism because I have been suicidal and I have been there and I know. What
I was
that's
only
like.
one time, and it was over a guy. And after that happened,
over a
and
guy.
I actually did cut my wrist. I still have the scars.
Wow.
But obviously, I did it the wrong way, and I was fine.
Wow.
But I at that
So you do
moment,
know.
at that moment in time,
You do know.
I was really hurt.
Yeah.
But at that moment, he cheated on me. But at that moment in time, when I did that, the second I did it, I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. Why did I do that?
Right.
He's not worthy of
Right,
me.
no.
And my self-esteem kicked in.
Wow.
Probably a minute too late, but kicked in. I mean, I'd already
Yes.
cut myself,
Yeah.
but it did kick in
But-
because I was like, fuck that.
Yes.
Why am I going to hurt myself over someone who's not worthy of me?
Yeah. Of course.
So my message to all people, young and old, know your worth,
Know your worth
you know, and if you don't, no one else will.
and keep the childlike wonder.
Yeah, keep the childlike wonder.
Know your worth.
Like I said, if you don't know your worth, no one else will know your worth.
Yeah.
So, you know, believe in yourself, even if you're a fucking goofball.
Especially if you're a goofball.
If you're a fucktard. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the word fucktard. I'm
The
proud
PC term.
to call myself a fucktard. But yeah, you know, just find happiness in the little things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there you go.
There you go.
Soft blanket, maybe a larger twin bed when you get to the hotel.
Maybe a queen.
Maybe a
Maybe
queen
a
size bed. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to talk to you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
I'm so
Candace.
happy for you.
Thank you.
I think that you've got just a cool vibe, cool style. I'm coming to the show, and yeah, about you, Max. And I'm gonna say his name wrong again because I say Max Poscente, but it's
Poscente.
Poscente.
Yeah, you practice your
Max
Italian.
Poscente.
Yeah.
Max Poscente.
Molto bene, Bella.
Molto bene. Come stai?
Come
Poscente.
stai?
Does Poscente mean something? Is it a place?
It's like north of Rome or no, I don't. No, you know what it means? Ask questions. It
It means like
somebody who like one who asks questions.
Poscente. Oh,
Yeah.
Scente is question, maybe.
It was like I remember my nonna was telling me the root of it. She's like,
no,
yeah,
no.
it's like the
Nona means grandma in Italian, if you're wondering.
yeah, and she was like, oh, the root of it, you know, it's like one who asks a lot of questions or something. I was like,
Well, that's us.
and I was like, well, what does that mean?
As you ask a question. Love it. Boom, boom.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Max. Love you.
Thank you, Candace.
Peace
Love
out.
you. Peace out. That's good.
That was so fun.